This is Twit.
This episode of iFive for the iPhone is brought to you by Gazelle, the fast and simple way to sell your used gadgets. Find out where your used iPhone, iPad, and other Apple products are worth at gazelle.com. Hello everyone and welcome to iFive for the iPhone episode 124. iFive covers the latest iPhone apps, tips and tricks, and of course news. I'm Sarah Lane and I have survived. Happy 2015 everyone, best year ever. Okay, back to work. Number 1. Okay, let's start off with the flavor of the month, which is actually a great flavor because I love trivia. Can you tell what app I'm about to talk about? Yes. I'm talking about Trivia Crack, which is super popular right now, so there's a very good chance that you're already playing it because it's fun. In fact, Leo introduced me to it on iPad today a couple weeks ago, and I haven't really stopped playing since because I love to be right. So Trivia Crack calls itself a game of strategy. You can challenge your friends to various trivia categories, science or sports or geography, and then you earn coins and little characters that you steal from each other as you answer questions. So there's a fun social component as well. You spin the wheel, you get a category, then you're scored on not only correct answers, but how fast you can answer them. The questions are also crowdsourced. That's kind of cool. So not only is there a pretty big selection already, but you can rate the questions or even flag them if they're wrong. I haven't seen any blatantly wrong questions yet, but that is a nice option. Also, if you don't have a bunch of friends that are already playing Trivia Crack, or maybe they're taking too long with their turn, you can get matched up with some random people on Earth, anywhere in the world, and then you play that way whenever you feel like it. There's a cool spinning wheel, it's very colorful, sound effects. It's easy to see why people like the interface of Trivia Crack. I would suggest, though, that you buy yourself the ad-free version for $2.99, though, because ads on a game that are it's already this visual, it feels unbearable, at least to me. Also, I've learned a few things over the last month. You know, I'm getting better at my trivia, so I'm considering Trivia Crack my stepping stone to ultimate Jeopardy domination. Number 2. So way back in episode 77 of iFive, which was almost a year ago, we talked about an app called Secret that let people anonymously post whatever they wanted. And it was kind of tantalizing because the secrets that you would see were supposedly friends of yours, from friends of yours, or at least friends of friends, because they were based on your phone number and your contacts. Now, I didn't like Secret at all. I thought it was mean-spirited. I thought it was abusive towards people that I knew. Sometimes there were actual names used. Or it was just pointless stuff that you would expect to see on a college bathroom wall, not in an app. Who's got time for that? Anyway, Secret got really popular really fast because everybody likes a train wreck. But then, over the last year, most users lost interest and the user base fell dramatically. Now the company's brand new app claims it has a totally different focus. Honest opinions from your friends, and general discovery. Okay, that sounds pretty good to me, except that honestly, besides looking sort of different, it's still organized the same way. You've got your feeds of friends, and you've got your location feeds, and it's the same crap that I used to read on Secret. It's a lot of raunchy stuff, even in my supposed group of friends. I don't know who's saying this stuff, but I don't want to read it. The CES category is a good idea in theory. We're at CES this week, but it's showing secrets like which booth has the best swag and where all the booth babes at. I mean, come on. One new feature is that you can chat privately with anybody on Secret. That is new, and it's supposedly totally anonymous, but that's also terrifying because, you know, look at the secrets that I'm already reading. I don't want to chat with these people one-on-one. I also don't feel like the app has changed much at all because the users haven't changed, or at least what they talk about is still mostly unappealing to me. If you have a different take, you think I'm crazy, or you really like Secret, or anything like that, send us an email at iFive@twit.tv. And I'm sorry, Secret, I just don't get you. Number 3, we got an app suggestion this week from Blair, who recommends a service called Placeme to keep track of where you go for personal use, though, not as a social network. Kind of unique. Blair writes, this app privately tracks and notes where you went and how long you spent there, and auto-names the location or remembers your corrections. It doesn't broadcast it to anyone, but you can sync it with your Evernote account. Okay, so I hadn't used Placeme before, but my first thought on any app that's locating my physical location all day, every day is battery drain, because I'm already using enough location-enabled stuff that I think is actually quite helpful. And even my 6 Plus sometimes has a hard time keeping up battery-wise. I drain it every day. But I also like that personal breadcrumb trail data. It's one of the reasons that I still leave tips on Foursquare. I like to remind myself of where I was months or years later, especially if I'm back in that place and I think, what was that cool bakery? That can be helpful. Placeme is totally location-based, so it's not hooking into any other service. But as Blair mentioned, if you have an Evernote account and you want a daily rundown of your location that's synced to your Evernote account, Placeme can do that. I will say that it tries to guess where you are based on where it geolocates you. I'm assuming it's pulling data from Google, and that's not always right. For example, I was never at a Best Western hotel earlier today, but I was near one. I think that the main issue here, besides battery drain, potential anyway, and just obviously trusting the app to respect your privacy, and that is a personal decision, is that not that many of us are that organized or obsessive or what have you about our everyday whereabouts. I mean, my routine is pretty much the same most days of the week. I could see Placeme being really helpful if you're on vacation, or otherwise totally off your normal routine, and then the Evernote sync feature is a bonus too, a receipt of the past. This episode of iFive for the iPhone is brought to you by Gazelle. Did you get a new gadget for the holidays? I certainly hope so. Gazelle wants to buy your old gadgets like an iPhone or a Samsung Galaxy phone or an iPad or a MacBook. Trading in your old devices after the holidays is kind of like getting another gift, because you get money to buy whatever you actually want. Now don't forget, you can now buy certified pre-owned iPhones or Galaxy phones or iPads directly from Gazelle as well. So if you've lost or broken your phone, a certified pre-owned device is a really great way to buy a replacement device that saves you a little bit of money. It's a little lower cost. Visit gazelle.com, that's Gazelle.com, and see what devices are available from Gazelle in certified pre-owned condition. Now, devices are available in two conditions, either certified like new, which is what it sounds like, or certified good. Now, certified good devices show a little wear and tear, maybe a tiny scratch here and there, but they offer you as a consumer who wants to save a little bit of money, a great device at an even better price. Gazelle is very popular. The company has paid nearly $175 million to over 1 million customers, and they do lots of stuff for you. They'll wipe your data for free if you don't feel like dealing with that yourself, and shipping is free as well. Most items qualify for a free box, and the process is fast. No listing hassles at all. Maybe you have an iPhone 5S or an iPhone 5 or an iPad 4 or iPad mini with Retina display. You want cash for these gadgets that you're not using. No judgment. Gazelle just wants you to get paid. So what's your iPhone, iPad, or other gadget worth? Take a minute and go to Gazelle.com to find out. And thanks to Gazelle for sponsoring this episode of iFive. Number 4. Okay, it's 2015, and I thought maybe we'd like to check in with what all the kids are doing besides hiding online from their parents. Bebo, yes, Bebo, B-E-B-O. Remember Bebo? Yeah, kind of familiar, right? It got some attention recently by sort of emerging from the dead as a completely different version of itself. Now, if you need a little refresher or you're younger than me, Bebo used to be a huge social network which launched way back in 2005. Its time has come and gone, but at one point it had many millions of monthly active users. In December, though, the company launched a brand new app that, as the company describes, makes your regular text messages look boring. Now that is completely true. That is a true statement. So here's what you do. You create a Bebo, which is an avatar for yourself, custom avatar. You've got all sorts of ideas about what kind of t-shirt you are wearing and the color of your hair. Then you chat with friends the way you normally would, except you're sort of chatting through this somewhat silly avatar. And you can also use hashtags to perform actions. So they're more than just tags. They're actually making your avatar do stuff, like slapping your friends. Yes, I'm serious. Hashtag slap. You should try it. You can also draw in chat windows. You can send music to friends. And then the location component keeps your whereabouts known to all of your buddies, if that's okay with you. Okay, so clearly this app seems aimed towards people that are on the young side. But my friends actually seem to like it. It's juvenile, but it's kind of hilarious. It's fun to play around and make your Bebos do stuff and interact with your friends. But I would never use this as my primary texting app. It's way too interactive. It's too distracting. I know I speak for at least some of you when I say, I really just want one way to text regularly or I'm going to be overwhelmed. That said, Bebo's interesting, and I was pleasantly surprised actually to connect to a lot of my contacts that were already using it, so it definitely doesn't feel like a ghost town, and it's free. finally, number 5. We got an email from Mario, who lives in Columbus, Georgia. Hello, Mario. Who has an update on a question that we got a few episodes back about managing bank cards in Passbook when it comes to Apple Pay. Basically, when multiple bank cards look identical and you don't want to choose the wrong one. And I figured that some of you might have gotten new iPhones over the holidays. If so, congrats. And maybe you're setting up Apple Pay for the first time. So this is actually a really good tip. Mario writes, add the main card as the default. Then add a card or two from another bank before finally adding that second card. This will space them out under Apple Pay and keep your default card at the top. Now that's Mario's Passbook view, by the way. And indeed, it is way better to space out his Wells Fargo cards. I can see where it would be really confusing otherwise. By the way, if you don't have a bunch of credit cards to use as spacers, a rewards card works too. I have a Sephora card that I put in there. That's fine, even if you never use it. Thanks for the tip, Mario. And that does it for the very first episode of iFive in 2015, but certainly not the last. Thanks for stopping by. All of the apps and links and other information from this show and all of our other episodes is at twit.tv/iFive. You can email ideas or questions or general feedback to us at iFive@twit.tv. Thanks for all your feedback this week, by the way. And you can leave us a voicemail at 614 on iFive. I'm Sarah Lane, and we'll see you next time on iFive for the iPhone.
Bandwidth for iFive for the iPhone is provided by CashFly at CACHEFLY.com.